What are you wearing right now? A hoodie, a blouse, a t-shirt? Do you know what your clothes are made of? Check the label. Our clothes can be made of vegetal, animal, synthetic, or even artificial materials, and all of them have a different impact on our environment. Indeed, the fashion industry has a disastrous impact on our planet. It is the second largest polluter in the world, just after the oil industry, and the environmental damage is increasing as the industry grows. So today, we chose to present to you the top 5 most used materials and their impact on our environment. You might be surprised. Firstly, cotton. Cotton is so widely used in the textile sector. It represents about 1/4 of the world production. As the cotton plant is a fragile plant, growing cotton requires a lot of treatment such as pesticides and insecticides, but also a lot of water and sun. Thus, more than 40% of cultivated areas are irrigated. In addition to the agricultural pollution induced by this crop, the health of farmers is endangered by the pesticides that can be very cancerogenic. Did you know that one t-shirt needs around 2,500 liters of water to be made? This has a dramatic impact on some territories. The Aral Sea is one example between many of the consequences of cotton production. The water was drained in order to irrigate cotton culture and is now gone. Secondly, wool. The fiber of the wool comes most often from the fleece of the sheep, but it can also consist of the hair of goats, rabbits, or alpacas, for example. The use of wool is quite worrying. As a general rule, livestock accounts for around 20% of the global greenhouse gas emissions, which is a larger share than the gases produced by transport. Pesticides and insecticides are often used to treat sheep to get rid of parasites. After the sheep have been sheared, their wool is cleaned and washed with chemicals, which can also contaminate nearby water sources. One of the preferred alternatives is organic wool, which prohibits all of these products, as well as barbaric breeding practices such as mule leasing. Mule leasing consists in the removal of a part of the perennial skin of the sheep. It is a particularly painful process since the skin is cut raw. Then we have polyester. Polyester is a plastic fiber that requires the use of petroleum to be manufactured. More than 70 million barrels of oil are used to make polyester each year. During its production, polyester consumes a lot of water and energy and also generates toxic fumes. It is non-biodegradable and will persist in the ecosystem, even as it eventually breaks apart. In fact, it is believed that the synthetic garments are the biggest source of microplastics pollution in the ocean. Each time a polyester garment is washed, plastic microparticles are released into the wastewater. These microparticles are too fine to be filtered by wastewater treatment plants and therefore end up in the ocean where they destroy marine life. This pollution is invisible to the naked eye, but represents 50 billion plastic bottles in global waters each year. The environmental impact of polyester is significant. Cheap polyester is probably the biggest offender when it comes to the high environmental cost of fashion. Artificial materials such as viscose come from chemical synthesis from a natural compound. To mass produce these plants, farmers specialize in cultivating a species that always draws the same nutrients, which can eventually cause soil depletion. The production releases also citric acid and sodium sulfate that are toxic chemicals, often not recycled. In developing countries where viscose is manufactured and where they do not have any reprocessing of chemical waste, it is released into nature and rivers, and pollutes ecosystems. Carbon disulfide is also a toxic, flammable, and very volatile product that causes significant air pollution. And last but not least, linen. Linen is a natural fiber considered ecological for several reasons. The cultivation of flax does not require much water or pesticides. The plant grows naturally thanks to the heat of the sun and rainwater, so it does not require any irrigation, unlike cotton, for example. In addition, the stages of linen manufacturing consumes little energy. One solution is to choose master of linen that certifies the linen. It ensures that from plant to fabric, flax has not left Europe for the sake of short supply and promotion of a European know-how. This label also prohibits irrigation and GMOs. As a result, linen is the only ecological material between the most used materials in the world. However, there are solutions and alternatives to mitigate these problems. More of them that we could show in another video. Yet, the first step lies in building awareness and the willingness to change. So thank you very much, and be careful to what you buy in.